So yesterday when I did my video on how not to be murdered by capitalism in the United States, I actually forgot to cover exercise. Now there are links to exercise in the description of that video, but I forgot to cover it. So one of the main reasons people are dying from these deaths of despair has to do with alcohol related diseases and also heart disease. A lot of people seem to be astonished that heart disease has made a comeback, but the reason heart disease has made a comeback is people are no longer following health promoting diets and people are no longer exercising like they have in the past. The baby boomers were the exercising generation. That was the generation where bodybuilding became mainstream. And that was the generation where aerobics became mainstream. That was the generation where Dr. Kenneth Cooper, who I'm going to leave links to in this description. I'm going to leave a link to my previous video from yesterday so people can follow that. But that was the generation where exercise became mainstream. It was also, different forms of Eastern philosophy, which brought with it things like yoga, Tai Chi, karate, judo, jujitsu. These things, even though they originally came here during about the World War II generation and even prior to that, they started coming into their own in the baby boomer generation and in the 80s and 90s and things like that. But people started dropping off. The kids of the baby boomers started dropping off. So that's what happened with that. So what I want to point out is I didn't point out the exercise. Well, how much exercise? You want about a half hour of basically moderate exercise, moderate aerobic exercise a day, like walking. So about a half hour of walking or jogging a day. Although walking at a brisk pace does seem to give you the same benefits as jogging. So that's a good thing. So you can walk at a brisk pace. It gives you the benefits of jogging without the, injuries to your ankles, knees, things like that. So a brisk walk, about 30 minutes a day, is great. And it doesn't even have to be all at once. It can be broken up into 10-minute increments, 15-minute increments, etc. You also want to do stretching and strengthening exercises. For this, I actually recommend probably something like Pilates or some of the classical military type calisthenics. And the reason I like such as the what do you call it? The 5BX, 5 basic exercises, or the XBX. Actually, I would do both. And things of that nature. Also, Jack LaLanne has a wonderful number of exercises. I'll leave a link to Jack LaLanne's exercises, what he calls, I think he calls them slim nastics or something. But the point is, they're just calisthenics. But the point is, you need to get about a half hour of moderate to vigorous cardiovascular exercise a day, such as walking or jogging or running, something of that nature. Of course, if you're new to exercise, consult your physician. Don't jump into exercise right away. Also, you want to do flexibility and strengthening training. Of course, if you feel up to it and you've consulted a doctor or a medical professional and they say you can lift weights, by all means lift weights. But I also think that for the benefit of the mobility, it's a good idea to do something like Pilates or yoga. Tai Chi and stuff like that, I don't really think that that's of much benefit, although there is research that shows it's of benefit to balance. I think a lot of the balance benefit you get from strengthening exercises probably is far superior to what you would get from Tai Chi. If you're a lady or a young woman, things like ballet and things of that nature are excellent forms of exercise, total body strengthening. Not saying that men can't do ballet. I know men do ballet. In fact, a friend of mine that was a ballerina wanted me to do ballet because I have pretty good upper body strength, and she was getting tired of these little sissy boys that aren't able to hold the ballerinas. But that's about all for this video. There's links in the description. Just keep in mind, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare provider. I'm not licensed to be a healthcare provider. If you have a health complaint, consult a licensed healthcare practitioner in your area, whatever that looks like to you in your area, whether that's a doctor, whether that's a DO, an MD, a naturopath, a chiropractor, whatever a licensed healthcare provider is in your area, consult them, not me. I'm not a healthcare practitioner. This video is for entertainment purposes only. And check the links in the description.